Go.
Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Port Angeles. I'm Reverend Tricia. It's my honor to be here on our second Talk Thursday. Our talk title today is Love the One You're With. And that is an odd title, but I got inspiration in a bar. I went to a club the other night to hear someone play, a possible future musician for us, and they were singing the song Love the One You're With. And I was singing along and dancing in my chair. And then it struck me that that was a good talk title, as things do. So I pulled up the lyrics to see what they said, and the beginning lyric said, if you're down and confused and you don't remember who you're talking to, concentration slips away because your baby is so far away. But if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with. Which sounds a little bit like we're encouraging a little infidelity. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this idea that we love the one we're with. And I'm going to start with ourselves. The one that we're with every moment of every day for our entire lifetime, and maybe lifetimes before and after. This is the one to start with. Love this one that we are with. Right where we are. Whatever's going on in our head, in our physical body, in the circumstances of our life, can we just love it? Love it as it is, not how it's supposed to be or how it's supposed to look. We were trying to record this talk and the technology failed, so I love that. My husband and I went to a seminar by a guy named Kyle Cease, and he proposed this idea that no matter what's happening in your life, you say at the end of it, and I love that. My car just broke down, and I love that. My husband left me, and I love that. I just won $500, and I love that. I'm in a crappy mood, and I love that. Love the thing that's happening. The RUMI quote that Reverend Clancy read earlier is so perfect. Learn the alchemy true humans know. The moment you accept what troubles you've been given, the door will open. That is powerful for me because I have had, in the past, and even today, resistance about whatever seems to be happening. It's not happening the way I thought it should be happening or the way I wanted it to be happening. The moment that I just, so what? Doesn't matter what I think about what's happening. This is what's happening. And I get to choose to love it or fight it. When I fight it, it seems to multiply. It seems to create it worse. When I love it, there's space. And a door opens to something new. I'm reading this book that I found by accident when I was in a thrift store looking for some juicy novels to read. And it's called Broken Open, How Difficult Times Can Help Us Grow. That spoke to me, and then I read the back, and it really spoke to me. This woman, Elizabeth Lesser, I think it's interesting, she's got a last name of Lesser, but she's really great. She's got a lot of great things, and I haven't gotten through the whole book, but just in the beginning, there's this whole section about loving our shadow self. That's not been something I've been very willing to do a lot in my earlier life. She says, love the jerk, the bumbling, bad-tempered coward, the mope. I put in the asshole. Excuse the expression, but sometimes I'm an ass. Sometimes I'm a jerk. Sometimes I'm impatient. Sometimes I'm a bitch. I have to love that. My loving husband is shaking his head. No, never. But it's true. Sometimes I am not my highest, most holy, loving beingness. And can I love myself, even in those moments? Do I love my dog less when she accidentally throws up on my deck? No. Do I love the child who knocks over a precious vase? And do I just accept that this was a mistake? Do I love them right where they are? Of course I do. So can I do the same thing for myself? Can you do the same thing for yourself? When your body's not working the way you want, when your mind is not doing what you want it to do. I'm in the midst of menopause. I forget words all the time. And I used to be so hard on myself when I would make a mistake or forget. And I'm working to love that. Well, that was a mistake. Can I keep moving forward? Can I let the door be open so I can step through? She says, love the simple dignity of yourself in each moment. Face the embarrassment of being human and uncover a deep well of passion and compassion. Being human was not something I wanted. I wanted to only be my spiritual self. And I'm here in a human body, my human self. I get to love that. When I can love myself, it's so much easier for me to love everything else and everyone else. But if I don't love me, then everything that I am not loving in myself shows up out here as an irritation or a problem for me. So loving whatever you're with, loving whatever's happening. The political situation, which is very interesting these days, we get to love that. If we just spend all of our time being angry and hating it, is that going to change anything? No, that's not what changes things in this world. Force does not change the situation. Space, a new idea, changes the situation. When I can love myself, then I can begin to actually behave as Jesus said, to love my neighbor as myself. I was loving my neighbor as myself really well before because I wasn't loving me, and so I wasn't loving my neighbor. That law of cause and effect, that reciprocal giving and receiving was very much at play. As I love myself more, I can love my neighbor more. The cashier, the person who's a little bit prickly, the other, whoever that might be. She says in the book, when your heart is undefended, you make it safe for whoever you meet to put down their burden of hiding, and then you can both walk through the open door. She talks about this burden of hiding. If you come up to me and say, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, fine. And I'm not fine, I'm hiding. It's not to say that we want to spend all of our life wallowing in the muck and the mire. I also don't want to gloss over my humanity. So I might reply, well, I'm having a kind of a tough time today, and, that's the key, and I know that I am supported and that somehow it's going to all work out. Somehow it'll work out for me. But I don't want to discount my pain, because when I discount my pain, I'm not having any room for someone else's pain. And they have to hide. They look and they say, I've had people say to me, are you ever in a bad mood? Are you ever grumpy? Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. And in my former life, I would try to hide that. And I was not very successful. It's very clear to see the black cloud that's hovering above me when I'm not in my normal joyful space. I think I'm doing really great camouflage, but it's not working. It's very clear that I'm not in my most grounded space. So why not just say that? I feel a little ungrounded right now. I feel out of balance today. And I know how to get back. I know how to get there. Or maybe, can you help me? Would you pray with me? Would you remind me of what you know to be a truth? Well, now we're in this together, and we can walk through the door together. Nobody's got to hide anymore. I looked up a couple of quotes, and it was interesting because I didn't realize how similar these were. I've heard them both, and I never connected them until today. Buddha says, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. That was very interesting. Martin Luther King says, Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light will do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So in this tumultuous world, if I meet hate with hate, we just get a lot more hate. If I meet force with force, a lot more force. If I can practice love, which creates space, there's the possibility for something else. So loving the one you're with has to begin with ourselves. Then loving the one that I'm with means loving every being that's right in front of me every single time, right as they are, even if I don't like it. Love them anyway. Doesn't mean I like them, but I love them. And it also doesn't mean I have to spend a lot of time around them if it's a lot of negativity, and I can still love them right where they are. Then I look at this saying, love the one you're with, completely differently. I look at it in all capital letters. Love the one presence that we talk about, the one power, God, love, energy, whatever. Love the one I'm with, and that is with me, always, unfailingly with me, with you, with all of us. I'd like to invite you to go into a little brief process with me. So I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. I'm going to read from our Science of Mind textbook. These are the words of Ernest Holmes. And I'm going to invite you to breathe as each sentence rolls by. I invite you to put your hand on your chest or on your stomach, wherever it feels like there could be a little more space, a little more love. Take a deep breath. Nothing is real to us unless we make it real. Nothing can touch us unless we let it touch us. Refuse to have the feelings hurt. Refuse to receive anyone's condemnation. In the independence of your own mentality, believe and feel that you are wonderful. This is not conceit. It is the truth. What can be more wonderful than the manifestation of an infinite mind? Be firm, and ye shall be made firm. Act as though I am, and I will be. As thou hast believed, so be it done. Ask, and it shall be given unto you. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall prosper. And I invite you to repeat after me. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me.
And again.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me.
And one more time.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me.
Take a deep breath. Love the one you're with. Thank you. We practice conscious giving here at the Spiritual